So what's up?
What's up, man? I don't even know anymore. It's been like a whirlwind since we even left for uh, 48. It's like everything was like, it was crazy because we were trying to get ready, packing and all that kind of stuff. And do we have everything? But that's just like normal stuff. It just kind of feels like life. I know for you too. Just like as soon as we got back, it's been like nothing but a whirlwind. So
Same here. Same here. I was just saying to Sissy that since we got back on Sunday. We got back late Sunday that day, and that Monday was the full life experience.
yeah,
Right back to it.
yeah.
It was, and it hasn't stopped. It's been good though in a way. So what's on our agenda?
Well, we wanted to talk about the new songs, and I actually did some research on the number of times they've played all the new songs so far.
Excellent.
And just from the album, though, not like Atomic Age and Sweat Equity. Those were not included for now. And then I actually pulled all the festival sets from the month and just like kind of thought maybe we would just chat about some of the highlights or things that they, noteworthy stuff. And then, all those tour dates they announced too, and the upcoming dates with the Humphreys. We could throw that out there a little bit and talk about the October dates they announced.
All right. So what was the first one?
Well, we'll talk about the new songs. You said you want to talk about Gentle Clown specifically.
Yeah. So I have the lyrics from when I wrote them down.
Okay.
But I don't have the corrections that I got from a very reliable source. But yeah, Gentle Clown is a thinker in a way. I think.
Tell me more.
The hook or the chorus or whatever, they kept me as their gentle clown. So the hook or the chorus on that song, I have it here in front of me, but going from memory, it's they kept me as their gentle clown. And just that by itself is, without any other context, has a lot of inference that could be, put upon it depending on your own life experience. It's just it's a very short set of words, but I think it could mean something different to every person if they try to apply it through their lens, So that's interesting, but it has a greater context, and I still haven't really quite figured it all out, and I don't ever claim to ever really know any of their songs, what they're really about, but except for the ones I've talked to them personally or people that really know. But I digress. I used to walk a rope held too tight is a good line. A bridge between a wrong and a right. There's a lot to unpack there to be cliche.
I mean, it's funny because the one line that jumps out at me and screams in my head is, "I scored a spot and I settled down."
Right, which is the next.
I scored a spot. I don't know why that just hits me, and it's funny because their lyrics are typically quite profound. Not every song is going to drive that way, but they have so many songs that I think get so deep into stuff, and I also think it's okay for the listener to interpret it their own way as well. I think that's the beauty of music, of poetry, art of all kinds is you and I can hear the same exact song, think it means two different things, and not necessarily even be entirely wrong. So, that's, but they always give you, Eggy's lyrics are just some of the most thoughtful, deep, true, genuine, real type of lyrics and all these new songs just kind of seem to keep that going so far for the most part.
Yeah, it's great to have all that material to toss around your head and try and figure out, and on this, that spot about I scored a spot and I settled down is before the climax of the story though. I think the story is about, breaking away from that and not
Mm-hmm.
being kept as the gentle clown anymore, but that the person woke up from whatever it was that they were spell they were under, and they're no longer being kept as a gentle clown because it says I couldn't keep the current course or something to that effect,
Mm-hmm.
in the second half of the
Mm-hmm.
song. So I have to keep listening to it, but and then in that I scored a spot and settled down. To me, so like I wonder what they really meant by that. If it's a love song and they're talking about a significant other, but I picture a stadium with 100,000 people in it, Foxborough Stadium in Massachusetts, with Eggy on stage, right, and someone bebopping to their seat saying, "I scored a spot and settled down." And they kept me as their gentle clown. Like I'm happy to be a happy fan here. Just their music makes me gentle and makes me happy and a jester and all those things. And so the band is keeping me as their gentle clown, right?
Well, there's the lines at the beginning. Read the first two lines.
So I'm not. That's why I was wondering if you could pull that up because I'm not sure exactly what I got wrong here on the because this is my
Oh,
like
okay.
original paper. So,
Okay.
but the last is next, and I think that's one of the ones that. Patrick texted me right after I posted this a couple, and we went around a couple times on a couple of lines that had to be fixed. He wasn't like, "Hey, you got to fix that." He was like, "You were super close. You
Oh
almost
yeah,
nailed it,
yeah.
but here's just in case anybody's out there listening and thinks, oh no, he was pumped that
Well,
he went and sat
there.
down.
I think it's the laugh is next. That's what I hear, but I
Yeah,
always have also struggled to accurately hear lyrics all the time. But I think that it's the line after that, or there's a line one or two after that about it's time to settle the score. Something about settling a score.
right.
And there's just this sense of like redemption or uh I scored a spot and I settled down. And they took me as their gentle clown. Like I was the one that was kind of like, okay, I'm going to take a step back from all this, and I'm just going to sit here on this hill and just watch this craziness and not be a part of it. And they think I'm this gentle clown, but like really, like I'm kind of above it. Like I could see past the crazy. I don't know. It's just the best part of song lyrics to me is sometimes they're so open to interpretation.
Yeah. Well, with these guys, they are. I don't
For
think
sure.
not to throw shade on any other band, but sometimes the depth and creativity doesn't strike me as so well thought out. I feel like almost every word of every song of Eggy song is belabored over, and it's like this you know giant Tetris puzzle that they're putting together, and it doesn't work unless it's exactly right. Whereas some bands just put in throwaway lyrics, and I'm not saying that they're freaking prophets on a mountain, but I mean they do. You can see the work is there. So
I mean, we'll go back and you mentioned Pat, and I love to talk to Pat about the lyrics and other things as well. Um, we both have the philosopher degree in common, and it's to me, it's almost like most Eggy songs are trying to convey some type of philosophy or another. Sometimes quite bluntly, other times maybe more hintingly. But I think
right,
that they all have such great minds. They're all just um, so creative and talented. And so the lyrics, the music, the production on this album, on the singles so far, has been out of this world, and I expect the rest of it to be the same. And we're getting close. I looked it up because I keep a countdown. We are 29 days from right where we're sitting right now until the album comes out. 10 tracks. We have all heard at least once or twice now 8 of those songs. If you dig into recordings and if you've been on the road or at shows at all.
hmm
Still 2 songs, and that's so cool and exciting. Like that, we'll probably
right.
not hear before that album comes out and we get to hear them for the first time. So those are called "So Long" and "Shallow Rivers." So you can only imagine we were just talking about with how their lyrics are just all, shallow rivers. The potential is just, we've got chills, you know. But it's actually interesting. You want to take a guess at which of the new songs has been played the most so far live?
Played live the most. Oh boy. Can you read them off?
So the songs are, this isn't the order of the album by any means, but So Long, Shallow Rivers that I already mentioned, Waiting Game, title track, Must Come Down, Come Up Slow, Way of the Stone, A Moment's Notice, Smile, Laurel, and Gentle Clown.
Oh, it's got to be Laurel.
Yeah, you think?
It's either that or it's Come Up. Oh boy, I don't know. I thought Way of the Stone was an old song until, yeah. So, I mean, I'm jumping on Laurel. I'm going with my gut.
I was happy when I dug up these numbers to see Laurel has already been played live 18 times. So that's like a number of times that people have gotten to enjoy it. But here's the thing that I was actually recently reminded of. I think is going to throw a lot of people's heads into kind of a different spot now. They've been playing these songs now for a year. It was that Cutting Room show after Fish where they debuted a lot of them and then, started. So actually the song that's been played the most is Smile. It's been played 42 times.
What?
Yeah, I know. Well, they like to encore. It's been an encore a lot. And, they just, obviously they really feel that one for some reason.
That's a great song.
Yeah, I mean.
It makes me smile that they played it that many times.
There you go. And actually, second's A Moment's Notice, 29 times. A Moment's Notice. That's pretty good actually, and I'm a pretty big fan of that one. It's slower, chiller, reflective.
So we
Way of the Stone,
Laurel.
Way of the Stone, 21 times. So there's 3 songs that have been played more than Laurel.
Yeah.
Smile, Moment's Notice, Way of the Stone. Then you got Laurel at 18. You've got Come Up Slow at 15, which surprised me. That single's coming out tomorrow, so I can't wait for that.
I'll have to dance to Laurel again and see if we can get it.
Yes, you're that was. And coming in down to the end, you've got as I said, Come Up Slow is 15 times. Gentle Clown has only been played 5 times, and but based on how many times I've listened to the single alone. I know that one's going to be in their rotation, and we're going to hear it a lot coming up. And then 2 times for Waiting Game and 2 times for Must Come Down.
Waiting Game is a sleeper. Let me tell you, that's going to be.
I know.
I mean, I know you know, but for anybody that's listening, I saw it. I got lucky enough to see it the first time when they were still wearing the white denim pants. Played at the second night of the Basement in May of 23, and what do you call it, acapella or acoustic with no mic. He kind of took a 5-minute break, and it was CJ Warren told us that night. He said tonight's the night, and I was like, whoa, what's that mean? And it was very cryptic. And then when they did it, it was a wow factor, and I had the presence of mind to get my camera going, and at the time I wasn't streaming or anything. I was still kind of new to all that, and but I got it recorded, and I've posted it a couple of times now. So good stuff. That's going to be a big one.
Can't wait, man. Just about a month away, and I mean, it's been kind of a long time coming, obviously, and all those incomplete Nug shows that I hope get completed in time, now that once the album is out, just for the sake of having the entirety of them there. But man, a lot of excitement on that one.
We're not ADHD or anything, right? I want them all. I want them all in order. I want all the thumbnails to look the same. Yeah, it's funny. Are you going to make it out to Hartford? September 12th, Hartford Live?
No, but we are doing Buffalo that next day.
Yeah.
That Borderland or whatever.
Yeah.
But
see you there, buddy.
You will?
See you there. Pretty sure. So I can't make the 12th of all times to have a conflict when they're playing only a couple hours from my house. But it's an annual thing that I go to that I can't really get out of. So That's going to be a tough pill to swallow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, so, but the last one I'm going to get to go to now is going to be the one after that because Sissy's having her knee surgery. So we're going to be home, we're going to be state bound for a while, not too much traveling in the immediate future. So the whole fall tour is off the menu for us.
Mm-hmm.
So deep breaths, it's hard to even say it out loud, We had such a streak going. So, but this show's not about me, but I just was like, wanted to know if you were going to be out in Hartford. Because that might have been enough of an excuse to explain to my other friends that, listen, I can't go to this banquet because I got some people traveling from far away that are coming out, and I got to kind of go down and see them. But it's all right.
But you're saying that you are trucking up to Buffalo, though?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just for the first day for Eggy, or are you going for the whole?
No, can't.
Okay.
Gotta come right back. Back. But they're probably playing in the late afternoon. I don't think it's going to be in Buffalo, right? It's probably going to be they're not the lead act of the night. They're not going to be the last ones to play.
See if I could get it.
Lineup shows them like next to last or third to last. So probably the supper time.
I don't think. Yeah.
The senior citizen boogie hour, 5:30 to 7. Who else is on the bill that day? There's somebody else.
Actually, that's the Black Crows Day. So
is it?
Black Crows are the headliner that night.
Dude.
Which isn't not going to be fun, right? I mean, that'll be a pretty good time, right?
So Black Crows, right? 1988 or 89, Worcester Auditorium, which was basically just a basketball gym, big granite building in downtown Worcester. The loudest concert. I think that's where I got my first hearing damage, was this Black Crows concert. And Chris Rob, they were just so loud. It was incomprehensibly loud. I don't know how the building was still standing afterwards. It was just amazing. I'll never forget it because of that. So that would be cool to see them again. But
Corey Wong? Do you know Corey Wong? That guy's been all over, right?
Yeah, so I've heard the name plenty of times, and I've heard Eggy shout out to him plenty of times, and I've heard other Connecticut talents talk about him, So I'm like, I have a whole list of other musicians that I really want to check out. But man, every time I hit play, it's Eggy.
Well, it is something else I wanted to talk about, today, and that was, our festival experience at 4848, how that, kind of went for us. And, it's too bad, as we were just talking about Dan, that was my segue there, is that too bad Dan wasn't there for that, because I always love to get a chance to say hey to him. But you and I and a couple other people as well got some real quality time in with the gentleman in West Virginia, and that was really, really special. I know there was a picture of it that my wife got from our balcony, of you and me and your wife and Chris Trevino standing in it, and I think all four of us thought that was going to end a lot sooner than it did, and each one of them just kind of kept having more and more to offer to the conversation, and just kind of kept bouncing into another topic, and then switch and talk to this one, and what were we, good half hour, 45 minutes over there, probably
almost an hour. Yeah,
almost an hour,
right? And imagine that it means that much to us that we know how many minutes we were there, but yet we were still just talking about the fact that they treat us as equals, right? And so I never know where the boundaries are, right? And I always try to kind of call them out in advance when I talk to them. So when Jake was on stage packing up, I went to the rail and I said, Jake, you got his attention. And I said, listen, man, those strings on that new guitar, they sound like they're a freaking foot thick. They're just amazing. He's like, oh, thanks. He goes, you're sticking around. And I thought he meant like after the festival for the night. I says, yeah, I'm here for the weekend, man. I'll catch up with you when you're all done packing up. And he kind of went like, well, come on back now. He's like, just gave me the little head fake. So I went around and there he was, and he just, like you said, they all just stopped what they were doing and came over to us as as friends, So that was cool. That was really cool.
And it's funny because I wasn't actually looking to hone in on that. I had actually had some time with them earlier before their set because we were eating lunch, looking for you. You had already finished eating. We sat down to eat, and they walked right up behind us because we were sitting right behind the stage. So we chatted with Donnie for a bit, Jake for a bit. Mike came up. It was nice. But actually what had happened is I was going to hang out with Chris Trevino for a while. And we'd been, internet Green Eggs and Fam friends for a while, but had never met. So,
really?
And he couldn't get into the building without, because he didn't have a key card for our building. So I was going down to basically be able to let him in, and he wasn't to the stage yet. He was like on his way. So I come walking out of my building, which was right next to the stage, and, there you guys all were. So, I kind of walked by, waved, and then when I saw Chris, I'm like, okay, let's head back. And then it was him who stopped and started talking. I think it was to Mike. I do want to say that I won't say what was said during some of those parts of those conversations, but probably one of the more significant moments I've ever had in my life at any concert with any band, before, during, or after. There's just some real love and real true feelings going around and going back and forth. And, again, I have to think that you guys came from Massachusetts. We came from Ohio. Chris came from Virginia, to West Virginia. I know there were other bands we were excited about, but let's be real. We all went to West Virginia to see Eggy, and they knew that, and that's, I think, one of the ways that they thank us beyond just the music that they give us, so can't ask for much more, right?
Yeah, no, they are the whole package.
They do play music aside from being awesome people. And I'm thinking specifically about the debut of Kodachrome at 4848 Festival. That was so awesome, so exciting. I know the beginning was a little off. It was their first time ever doing it. There was an issue with timing. They got it right together. They crushed the entire rest of it. The energy, the crowd, even though they were only the second band for the whole festival, was like feeling every bit of that.
Yeah. When you listen to it, you can hear that when the timing gets fixed. I mean, it's so subtle, but it takes a full rotation of the, I don't know what you call it, the coda or whatever it is. I have no knowledge of music, but you can still hear it. You can tell when it gets fixed. It comes all the way around back once, and then boom, then it's like on march,
Yeah.
But, and so to that point, for Tomorrow Never Knows, at I think it was the Fox Theater in Boulder, was the premiere of that song. And all I could think of was the Indiana Jones movie where the guy opens the ark and his face just goes, because that was one of those moments for me, It was just like, I couldn't believe it was happening. I've listened to the Revolver album a million times as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, just like it was on my record player all the time. And to have that happen was crazy. And then, but Kodachrome, every time they do one of these cover songs, it is this absolute rush of adrenaline because you know the song, so you're already home in it. But now these guys are going to do their magic to it, so your anticipation of what's to come, because you're on a road you already know, but it's fresh pavement. And there's just no speed limit. You know what I mean? It just gives you this tingle. It's like, oh my God, it's Kodachrome. I can sing along to it in the first word, and I know when they're going to do what they're going to do. And I can't wait for the jam. And it's just, it's those moments are fantastic. And
you want to go to every show because you know that the one you don't go to is going to be the one that they do the thing that you've been waiting to hear. And it's that constant battle.
Right.
I think that everyone who caught an Eggy festival set in July was at least pretty surprised or excited or happy with something or other. They always deliver.
They kept it. They were true to themselves.
Well, the High Sierra at High Sierra, they did two sets. One, we have no idea what they played because it says no known set list on the carton. So they just like to play those games with us, and it's just, But then the second night on the main stage, they did your favorite thing, the Barbadrigal. How do you say it? Barbajangle. Say it.
Baraba Jangle.
Barabajangle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barabajangle. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's Van Morrison. That's like Van Morrison, but modern Van Morrison, right? He whipped that thing out in like, I don't know, maybe 2012, 2015, something like that.
Carton says it's Donovan. I don't even know.
Yeah, Donovan. Yeah, Donovan. I keep saying Van Morrison. Yeah, Donovan.
Well, I know that they tease that a lot. They tease that in a lot of jams. You hear them go that goop, 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 goop. So, yeah, that's but I think that they did the whole thing.
It's a great song, yeah.
They footnoted it. His last time played was February 4th, 2016. So 8 years between playing that song, 8+ years.
So that's the last time they played. That's the last time they played the whole song. But they did, they did chunks of it, right? Like to your point, right? They did chunks of it. They did a chunk of it at the St. Patrick's Day show. The first time I ever heard them do it was in the encore when they did like a Phil Collins thing, and then they did that, and it was just. Oof. I think they did some Tom Sawyer in there too. Of course, we'll talk about.
I got to go back and listen, and maybe one of our listeners would know if they always tease it in the same song, or is it just whenever it strikes them. But yeah, they do tease that a lot. So the fans there, they got that for the first time, full song in 8 years. We got the Kodachrome at Snowshoe. Jeezum Crow in Vermont got the first city light since last October. I love that they busted that one out.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
And really, again, that set, let me just run through again. Apology, Nearly Always Late, City Lights. What a great opener. That's just so smooth.
Classic.
And then the Boomer Bust, Genetic Method, Chest Fever, Fly Frederick, little cool down song, after the Chest Fever, because that gets really cranking. And then one of the strongest finishes, sometimes I just start at the Laurel. And it goes, Laurel, Remind Me, Zoog Zwang, Gentle Clown. I could just put that on and listen to that 4-song loop like every day.
Right.
It's that good.
So what we haven't seen in a long time now is like Unnecessary Evil, right? The Unknown Mortal Kombat. When was the last time they did a Time Escaping, right? There's a few Punch the Drywall Inside My Head. What's that one? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Interior People. People.
So there's this new rotation, and that's kind of cool.
Definitely interesting, isn't it?
Huh?
It definitely is interesting.
Yeah. So, but I was asking Jake probably a year and a half ago, hey, what are you listening to when you got the headphones in, And he said, oh, I've been listening to this band called Unknown Mortal Orchestra. And I was like, And then 6 months later, they start doing Necessary Evil. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know what he was telling me, that day. But that was just really cool to make that connection months later for him to say, yeah, I'm listening to this band. And then to see him all of a sudden, whip that out was pretty damn cool. So I digress.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
I
got to say,
yeah.
And it was good of you because you streamed that for everybody, and that was really nice as well. So anybody who could have tuned in at that time or even later on, you go back and watch the stream in the group. Once you do it, it's in there. So that was awesome. And then Lee Melnikoff streamed Vermont for us the next day. And I have to confess that Jennifer, my wife, was out on the balcony rocking out to some, was that Sasquatch, I believe. And I was in our room cranking up the Eggy stream as loud as I could, and they're just, that was super awesome. And then they did 2 sets in Virginia to end the month at Floyd Fest, which I'm going to probably have to get to that festival one of these years. But again, I don't want to get off topic, but that was the first set there, Atomic Age Sweat Equity. It's like, hey, Bud, here's a set for you. And then Laurel, Mr. Blue Sky, for only the second time since Porum. Cleveland was the first time since Porum. This was only the second time since Porum. And then Apology Shadow, Boom Boom to close the set.
Right. Well, they haven't played Shadow in a while.
Yeah. And then the next set they played at Floyd Fest was One Stop Shop, Smile for the 41st time, Northern Lights, the first Jumpin' Jack Flash since Purim, 12 Pounds of Pain, and Golden Gate Dancers. So just a little nugget, a little treat for each festival. But I have to say, and I don't want to sound like a complainer, but I probably will. But I was really bummed out that we didn't get either set at Floyd Fest streamed in the group. I know there were some people there. I know it's not the easiest thing to do. I know it's not what everybody wants to do with their time. I thought that the group was super blessed if they got a stream out of West Virginia, and out of Vermont. Sometimes it's just the way the dice rolls, right? And then Virginia, a much more populated area, lots of people around, and I think there was like barely even any videos that popped up from that one. So again, it's not, no one's responsible for going out and streaming and recording, but I know that a lot of us that love them and want to share them with as many people as possible try to do it as much as possible. So,
right.
I don't know what your thoughts are. Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who streams a lot, why don't you? Yeah. Sorry. As someone who streams a lot, what are your thoughts on that?
I do it because I want to share. Like, I feel like I wouldn't want to be that guy that's sitting at home on, like, if someone's streaming Hartford on September 12th, I'm going to be sitting at a banquet with 400 other people with my phone and one earbud, just like, oh yeah, how you doing, guys? Yeah, how you doing, guys? How you doing? yeah. It'll just be listening to the show, So, but hopefully, I always hope someone will stream it. That, like, no one needs to see it. Just press go live and throw the phone in your shirt pocket and just let the sound come through for us. You don't have to hold the phone. I will. I've gone to shows and forgotten a tripod and just been like this for 3 hours, but I don't care. I'll do it. The 4848 show, I had the camera kind of on a stick, and so you can see. Normally it's just on the stage. Maybe I'll zoom in and out a little bit, but we got to see the crowd and everything. So I was trying to get people that weren't there to really see what it was like. It was way cool, but. Yeah, I wish people would stream. And, in absence of that, I just kind of wait for the nugs.
So your next show then is Buffalo.
Like And so what were you saying a little while ago? Can't go to every show. Was talking to my dear wife about, she's got surgery on that Monday. And I'm like, if we cancel the banquet, we could probably go. I think there's like one right before that or something. And, I'm trying to figure out how we could string a couple together. And she's like, listen, no,
You know what I just thought of? Here's what I just thought of. At 4848, if you recall, one of the staff members there was eerily close to being a doppelganger of you. Could we send him to the banquet? In your place while you go to Hartford? Do you speak a lot at this banquet?
He'd fit right in.
They've played with Humphreys before, so I'm sure there's a comfort level there and a familiarity that'll help. My wife and I are going to sneak out and get one of those in. I didn't think I was originally, but we're going to go to Indianapolis, catch a Saturday show. So that'll be fun.
What's the venue?
Everwise Amphitheater at White River State Park. It's actually an area downtown Indianapolis, like where their zoo is, and it seems to be very their big culture area, if you will. And we were lucky enough to score a hotel that's like a 5-minute walk to the venue. Nice. So whenever I can do that, whenever I could do that, it's nice. And then we got that, and then we got Buffalo. What's that?
Indy has a lot of hotels right downtown.
Yeah, well, I've never stayed in downtown Indy as many times as I've been out there always to see Fish in Noblesville. So we would stay outer Indianapolis. I've never stayed downtown, so this will be fun.
Do you do pineapple on a pizza?
No.
We might have to not be
man.
friends anymore.
Okay, fine.
This could be a deal breaker.
Yuck.
Fluff.
Ugh. Ugh.
I'm not giving up the pineapple, so you might have to try it.
It's a travesty. I've
It's
tried
really
it. Of course, I've tried it. I don't know who the fuck thought of that, but they should be.
This is one more area where Eggy brings people together. Do you see that?
Pizza.
Like, talk about
Pizza.
like the Venn diagram, right? Pineapple and ham pizza and pepperoni pizza, and then Eggy people right in the middle of that. You know, one slice. One more thing we can agree to disagree on.
There you go, buddy. Eggy
That's
changing the world, one relationship at a time.
That's right.
Well,
one pizza at a time. I bet you anything that all 4 of the band members are pineapple and ham guys.
Yeah?
I bet you.
I'm okay still not being one, though.
How about this? Here's what I got for you. You like doing surveys. I don't know how to do them. Put one in Green Eggs and Fam on whether or not Eggy fans are pineapple and ham pizza people.
Okay.
Entertainment. Will you do it?
Okay.
You
I
will
do it.
You can blame me for it. You can say I was urged. I wouldn't let it go.
That's cool.
I'll have a ring light next time so that it's probably. Let's see if you can see it. Hold on. There is a ring light around here. I won't show you now, but I have. This whole room's going to be set up. So behind me, in the ceiling, I'm having put in 4 by 2 foot, what they call RGB LEDs. So they're red, green, blue, and you can change the color on your phone. So there'll be like this nice blue hue behind me, and the ones out there, if someone sets off the alarm, they're gonna flash blue and red like a cop.
There you go.
Freak everybody out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So
party at Bud's. I like it. All right.
Got to keep some humor in it, you know. If you're not joking around, then you're doing it wrong, I think.
I'm glad you could still smile, buddy. I know it's been a rough one for you.
You know, I don't know. I sometimes don't smile. I think we all have those moments, you know. But it's moments like these that make those moments tolerable. You know, This is fun. I don't care if anybody ever sees this. I'm talking to somebody that I like about Eggy and, using technology and having memories come back and everything. I think that's the stuff that keeps you young, literally.
Hey,
so
smile 42 times, Eggy, 42 times. You never would have thought that, would you? 42 times.
And you know what? Like if I die tomorrow, God forbid, my grandkid that's 6 weeks old right now will be able to presumably go on YouTube when she's 7 and see what her granddad did. You know what I mean? So like, it's like preservation of, the family. It's a different, my mom used to have photo albums, right? And my grandkids are going to have, uploads to look at. So more dynamic. Hopefully they'll just upload me to a chip when I die, and
there you go.
they'll just be able to access me like a freaking USB drive.